Okay, we're on page 30. Page 30. Now this is important. This I mentioned the other day, the Machlokes Mechaber and the Ramah. Person's in shul, and he has to go out for whatever reason to the bathroom, and he has in mind to put the talis back on when he takes it off. The position of Mechaber is you have to say a bracha. Even though he has in mind before he takes off the talis, he's going out, coming back, put it back on, he's required to say a bracha. The Ramah's sheet is that as long as when you take it off you have in mind you're going to put it back, that's not considered detachment from the mitzvah. Okay? We'll see. In Poshet Taliso, Afilo Yadato Lavz L'Sati B'miyad. If you remove this talis, even though he had in mind to put it back on immediately. It's interesting. A person needs an aliyah to go, a talis to take an aliyah. A person takes off his talis, give it. He plans to get it back as soon as the aliyah is over. According to the Mechaber, you have to say a bracha when you put your talis back on. Tzorach levorech shi'az v'yisati bo. One is required to say the bracha when he puts the talis back on. Hagod Ramot Yeshomrim she'im mevorchim im hoyadato laz l'satif. If when you took the talis off, you had in mind to put it back on, you're going out to the bathroom, you're going out for a moment, whatever. Yeshomrim davke she'nishar olov talis koton. It's only if you're wearing a talis koton, so you're still connected to the mitzvah. V'achi noagin, and that's the minuk, that only if you're wearing a talis koton, then when you remove it, since you're still attached to the mitzvah, you're not required to say the bracha when you put it back on.
Even though you
It makes no doubt. He's not changing his mind.
What do you think?
We're talking about. He's arguing. Mechaber says it doesn't make a difference. Doesn't make a difference. Doesn't make a difference.
Even though we didn't say bracha on the talis katan.
So what? So why don't you say bracha on it? Because talis gadol originally covered it.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Doesn't make a big that means you're still associated with the mitzvah. That's exactly, because since you're still associated with mitzvah, you're not detached. This is the second Yeshomrim says you have to some degree of attachment to that mitzvah. If you're totally divorced from the mitzvah, then regardless of what you think, you have to say a bracha. That's they all wear talis anyway. Every Sephardi was a talis. They'd have to give one talis to somebody else to go up for an aliyah. If what a person has to go out to.
If you took your talis off,
That's not in the tzricha. If it's for a purpose, it's not unnecessary. It's not unnecessary.
The person who gets the talis has to say a bracha.
But if it's an aliyah, no. For an aliyah, not.
What would he say?
We said because that's covered at tzibur.
What would he have to say bracha for? Not
When you put on talis before tefillin. Person doesn't have a talis, comes to shul, and he wants a talis to wear. Right. So there, that talis is to fulfill the mitzvah of talis, of tzitzis, before you fill the mitzvah of tefillin. So there you have to acquire it. So when you acquire it, it's your garment, you have to say a bracha. A borrowed talis, you don't say a bracha on a borrowed.
a 15-year-old getting the talis from his dad.
To get an aliyah.
Yeah,
No, correct. Okay? But the Ramah Kwal, he says, he says, and what's the prevalent minog? As the second Yeshomrim. That only if you're wearing talis cotton, then you're not required. Let's see the Mishna Berura. Tzorach levorech. Afilu nishar of talis cotton. The Mechaber's position is, even if you're wearing talis cotton, you remove the talis gadol, when you put it back on, you have to say a bracha. Afilim tekev nisativo. V'lo shina mekomo klal b'intayim. You hear this? He takes his talis off to put it back on immediately because he wants to straighten it out. But he took it off his body, and he's in the same location. Nothing has changed. The apshita gufa hefsek ubazer. The removal of the talis, that's the hefsek. Ein le'el simin zeh. Zivkot in lamed aleph, and shksav nishom. Shem mevorchin. The Ramos says the minig is, we don't say the bracha. Afilim beis apshita l'nishal of talis koton. Even if, of course, first Yeshomrim. Even if he's not wearing talis koton, he's not required to say the bracha. If he had in mind to put it back on, chen posko achronim. Yeah, the achronim, they rule not like the Ramo. Even though the Ramo says hochi noagim, according to the second Yeshomrim, the achronim say no. That as long, even if you're not wearing talis koton, you have in mind to put it back on, you're not required to say the bracha. V'tam ha'yeshomrim who you're not required to say another bracha.
So how did the Habiyat blatantly contradicts the Rama who is before him.
No, they were the same time. Ramon and Mechaber were the same time. Besides being the same era, they lived at the same time. And the Beis Yosef lived 40 years longer. Ramon passed away, he was 40. The Beis Yosef passed away, he was 80, 88 years old. Okay? V'chein posca achron v'tam hayishomrim who the cave of the Beis Hapshito Yedato take of the love show. Since when he removed it, he had in mind immediately to put it back on after he was going to do whatever. L'chein also love pshita hefsek. Therefore, the removal was not considered a hefsek. Afilim shino makom time, even if he went to another location. Kagon sheposhros likonos lebisakise chol yotzibse. He went out to the bathroom. Lo havi shini mokom bozeh hefsek. Why? Came shechozav lovashos tal satzim, because he put back that same talus. Eino doma lamashti skima poskim siv chofei siv yudbeis. Anshem shemru vim poshet tefillin. Oh, what about you take off your tefillin and you go to the bathroom? When you put your tefillin back on, you have to say a bracha, even though you had in mind when you took them off, you're going to put them back on when you get back. Adaitli kodesh beis haknesis, beis hakise have a hefsek al yidei. You're real because a talis you're permitted to wear talis in the beis hakise. It's just not respectful. It's not respectful. A beged miyuchad letefillah, beged that's designated for tefillah, it's not appropriate to wear it, but it's not an isur. Tefillin, you're not permitted to wear tefillin. So you're going in a situation where you're divorcing yourself from what you were involved before. So therefore, that actually terminates your relationship with the tefillin when you go into a location where halachically you're not permitted to wear tefillin. When you go into the bathroom, you're permitted to wear talis. Halal, just not appropriate. So therefore, going there, you haven't divorced yourself from the previous involvement. Okay. Wait a second. The shani came to sakisi also b'tefillin. You're not permitted. Havi hefsek gomer. That's a hefsek. That's a termination. Masheing betalis the medina ain't also. Rakdeino nochum lasos king. It's not appropriate to wear a talis in the bathroom. A king lo havi hefsek al yidei. Therefore, when you remove it to go there, what are you shaking your head? Simple. 1 second. What about if initially he took it off, he didn't have mind to put it back? He says, whenever I get around to it, I'm going to put it back on the talis. Even according to Ramah, even though he put it on, he had to change his mind. When he took it off, I'm going to put it on in an hour. Okay? Which is a hefsek. And then, after he takes it off, he says, I'll do whatever I was going to do, I'll do it later, and he puts the talis on immediately. He's divorced himself. That he had in mind, that he's terminating the wearing, he's now required to say a bracha. Even though he's wearing talis cotton, they take him sheposhto ozlei mitzvah. The moment he removes the talis, with in mind not to put it back, even though he had a change of mind, doesn't make a difference. What about initially he had a mind to put it on immediately, and then he got waylaid. Went out, he's going out to speak to somebody for 5 minutes. He's put it on immediately when he gets back. And then the conversation drew out for an hour. Regardless of what he had in mind, factually, if there's that lapse of time, that's a hefsek. When he puts it back on, he's required to say a bracha. Even though he has the talis cotton. Okay, somebody was going to ask something.
So, if I understand the logic, it's because you can wear a talus in the bathroom, but you take it off.
Wait, but he has in mind to put it back on.
I understand. But so, by definition, it's still a hefsek. You took it off. Whether it's
no, but forget about the bathroom. Let's talk about without the bathroom.
Yeah.
You take it off because you want to go speak to someone.
Right.
And you have in mind you're going to put it back on. Are you required to say the bracha? Ramah.
The Ramah? No.
What's the rationale?
You're
That you have in mind to put it back on,
right.
that doesn't terminate the mitzvah. The mitzvah, this is considered an extension.
Correct.
When you put it back on. Okay? You're returning to where you were.
Right.
It never ended. So when you go to the bathroom, why is it any different? I have in mind to go, but I'm going to put it back on. And I'm in a position, even if I want to wear it there, I can wear it there.
Right.
So you were never divorced from the mitzvah.
Right.
That's the difference. But
Right.
if you're wearing tefillin, you go into the bathroom, you're not permitted to wear tefillin in the bathroom. So regardless what you have in mind, going in that location, you've terminated your relation with the tefillin.
I guess my question is, why is that a termination? Why is that just because you can't wear it in the bathroom, you take it off?
You're detached from it.
But you still
Here
have
I'm
mind-
never detached.
you still
I
have
could.
mind to put it back
It's
on.
irrelevant what you have in mind. What difference is that? I'll give you an example. Person washes, and he benches, and before he benches, he has in mind he's going to continue drinking wine after he benches. He has in mind. What does he have to say? Bar Gofen after benching?
Of course. Okay.
Why? Why?
Because he's terminated. The meal
Oh,
is
because
terminated.
benching means whatever preceded it is over. That's what benching means.
Right.
Same thing over here. You've gone to a location, the mitzvah you cannot fulfill the mitzvah any longer. As much as you want to, you can't. Once that happens,
Okay.
the mitzvah has been terminated. Now you put it back on, there's a new beginning. But a talis, since on the halach level you can wear it there, although it's inappropriate, it's considered a continuation.
So a talus cotton, if someone is wearing a talus cotton and takes it off, and then has the mind to put it back on again, how would the Ramah hold?
Why is it different than talis gadol?
I thought we said that the Ramah holds that if he has the...
Oh, you mean according to that? He's
Yeah.
wearing nothing but the talis cotton, and he
Right.
takes it off? He'd have to say another bracha. But he says, but the Achronim don't rule like the Ramah. They rule like the first Yeshomrim.
The Ramah would hold it.
Yeah, because it's Hochinogim. That's the minhag.
But if you had a talus cotton and a talus cotton, then you would not have to take.
Right, correct.
Kosher bracha for nothing, yeah.
Wait, we're not finished. Dafka Kshin So the Ramah says, that brings the second Yeshomrim, it's only if you're wearing the talis cotton. That's the second Yeshomrim. Achronim posku ka'yeshom mazeh. Here. The Achronim rule like this, like the second Yeshomrim. Ach the maski the Yeshom mazeh lo ayrak sheposher atalis hoye bistoma. Oh, they're going to qualify the Ramah. That's what happens. He takes it off. He's not thinking. He's not thinking. He's not going to put it back. He's not thinking. He will put it back. Okay. There we say, if you're wearing talis cotton, since you're still associated with the mitzvah, even though you have specifically in mind, you don't. But if he's not wearing, he's totally detached. Even according to the second Yeshomim, he had specifically in mind, he will put it back on. Yeah, this earning is important.
Yeah.
If you take your question is you take off your talis cotton, you have in mind you're going to put it. You're going to take a shower. You're going to put it on when you come out. You do not have to say another bracha
Do that.
because you had it in mind specifically. You're going to put it back on when you come out.
Right.
Okay. So and that's the way they explain the second Yeshomrim. It's only where he wasn't thinking specifically.
So if Ernie goes to the gym and he puts it back after he's worked out, after the shower, do you make the bracha?
No.
You don't, because you've had them, even though there's a...
Why?
Well, here I'm thinking there's an hour and a half of...
Well, no. Then you're introducing something else. An hour and a half. You know, you go into the gym, then you go into
Well, you
the
said-
sauna, then you this, then you can take a nap, and you can take a drink. You understand?
So that
You have to be recertified when you get back.
Yes.
Okay.
That's correct. So
So of course it's a hefsek. It's a hefsek, period.
right.
Some
Even though
days
you-
when you watch film all day, some people don't know that. Did that encompass the bathroom?
Go into
What's
the-
it come?
I'm
No.
saying-
If you went to the bathroom, it's over. You have to
It's
say,
over whether you-
regardless of what
know
you have
that
in
you're
mind.
wearing it
Whatever
all
you
day.
have in mind. It's irrelevant what you have in
Right.
mind.
But this discussion of Ernie with Tali Katan, we don't see a bracha for the Tali Katan to start with.
Most
No, but
people
you-
do. Most people do. Most people do.
You don't.
I don't, but most people do. V'chein lepech lo mani atalos koton, mushasav l'malo. V'nirim posher osa b'toch hatfilo. Afilu b'stomo. Okay, now we're talking about, he wasn't thinking specifically, right, that he's going to put it back on. What about he takes off his talis in the middle of the davening and go out to the bathroom? Okay? There's no question, even though he wasn't thinking consciously about it, he's definitely, if he's coming in the middle of the davening, he's putting that back on. So that's the equivalent of having specifically in mind that he's putting it back on. Okay? Afil b'stoma, hari kamo sheposher osa al das lachzor, chenim kiplo v'nicho b'toch kiso. What if a person takes off tal, folds it, puts it in his talis bag? Havi kamo sheposher osa b'feiv shal dash lachzor. Well, he didn't think. It's irrelevant. What is folding or putting it in a towel's bag mean?
Yeah.
It means it's over.
Yeah.
Right? It happens. Person puts his towels, all of a sudden he's called up for an aliyah. Right? The person was going to wait for Kriyas Torah, and he thinks he's ready to walk out the door the moment Kriyas Torah is over. He folded up his towel, all of a sudden they call him for an aliyah.
Oh.
So he pulls out his own towels from his towel's bag. There's no question he has to say bracha on that towels. Right? It's his talus. If he would ask somebody else for a talus, he wouldn't have to say a bracha. But if he uses his own talus, since when he put in talus bag, he had in mind that it's over, puts it back on, he can say a bracha.
Even though at that point it's covered at tzibur.
But it's his talus. Covered at tzibur is only if somebody else's talus. See, no, again, what about a person has in mind, even covered, I want to acquire the talus. Right? The person says, you could have it, you could acquire it. Matan HaMaslach. You have to say a bracha.
Right.
He does have to say a bracha. But when you take the talus from your fellow and borrow it, I don't have to require it. So I'm borrowing. On borrowed talus, you have no obligation to put tzitzis on a borrowed talus.
No, but my question is though, when he gets the aliyah is for covered at tzibur.
But it doesn't make a difference. No, again, I see you have to explain the rationale here. If you have a four-cornered garment and you put it on, regardless why you put it on, if it's your garment, you have to have tzitzis on it.
Okay.
That's the Torah obligation. What happens if I borrow a garment, full-cornered garment, to keep myself warm or for whatever other reason, any other reason? Because I need it for a bar mitzvah picture. You used to take bar mitzvah pictures, kid with a shawl, Does the child have to put on, say a bracha? The answer is no, it's a borrowed talus, right? It's the photographer's talus. You don't have to say a bracha on the talus. Okay? If you go into Ernie's library, you see that picture on the third shelf. Okay. So you don't have to say bracha on that. Why? Because it's a borrowed talus. What about if somebody says, I want to take a picture when you're wearing your talus and you put your talus on? Do you have to say bracha? Of course you have to say bracha. Torah is because it's your garment. Your garment, you're obligated to put tzitzis on. So it's irrelevant why you're putting the talus on, but if it's your talus, you have to say a bracha.
If that person would borrow a talus,
He's not
he doesn't have to.
Doesn't have to say a bracha. What about if you borrow a talus before to daven in the morning, before you put your tefillin on? There's a mitzvah to fulfill the mitzvah of tzitzis before you put on tefillin.
Yeah.
So there you want to acquire it. The person is willing to give it to you with a matan HaMaslach here.
Right.
I'm gifting to you as long as you return it to me. So the moment you acquire it,
Does he have to say that, the person?
no, that's a given. It's a given. Unless you borrow it for 30 days. But if you have it more than 30 days, not it becomes yours. Doesn't become yours because it appears to be yours. If it appears to be yours, rabbinically you have to put tzitzis on it. So rabbinically you say a bracha.
Well, concerning tefillin, one puts on tefillin, say Waha for the Yad, Waha for the Rosh, and then one discovers that
It's possible.
no, the head tefillin is the Rosh tefillin is falling apart, so you have to rewind it.
No.
You don't have to say another Waha.
No.
Because you're still attached to the
Correct. Okay.